Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed a perfect play.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. Muncy, a walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk 'em off. Chris Taylor.
How to fix the slumping Dodgers offense. We got Big Bobby Miller, Evan Phillips, and Shohei Ohtani injury updates. Should the Dodgers make a trade to add another bat? And Angel Hernandez calls it a career. That's coming up next here on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam. It's a double for Freddie. Mookie Magic.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Now, if you haven't yet, do us a huge favor and join the party of over 91,000 Dodgers fans who have subscribed to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel. And by doing so, if you do that and you comment Go Tawny down below, you will be eligible for our next giveaway, which is a road gray Shohei Ohtani Dodgers #17 jersey. All you have to do to win is two things: subscribe to the channel, and then two, comment Goat Tawny down below. We got some more giveaways planned even before the 95,000. We'll get to those tomorrow, but lots of giveaways coming your way. The year of the fan here at Dodgers Nation for 2024. Also, our friends over at Foco have dropped this new Shohei Ohtani bobblehead. You got the flames in the back. Look at, we got the Ohtani bobblehead from when we dropped this, and I think this one is going to drop when?
It dropped this morning.
It dropped this morning.
We're going to drop the link in right now.
We're going to drop the link down below. I'm pretty sure that thing's going to get sold out pretty quick. Pretty sure that thing is going to be gone and probably going to go on eBay for thousands of dollars, because the road gray one is already on eBay for over $1,000. I'm telling you, the Dodgers, they can afford anyone. Just have 80 Ohtani bobblehead nights a year. I'm telling you, it's all you have to do. Have 80 Ohtani bobbleheads a night a year. Can't worry about any CBT. Sign any player you want. This guy prints money. But today we got a jam-packed show. Lots to get into. Your Dodgers are slumping. And of course, you know, every episode of Dodgers Dugout Live starts with the poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X. Do the Dodgers need to look externally to go out there and make a trade? Do they need to make a trade for another bat to fix this offense? Or are you confident with the internal options? Are you confident that guys like Jason Hayward and Gavin Lux and Andy Pages and Miguel Vargas, that those types are going to be enough to give you enough at the bottom of that lineup to really make this a legitimate 1 through 9? Because right now they are not getting it done. And so far, 73% of you say yes, the Dodgers have to add another bat externally to fix this lineup, while 27% of you say no. So we're going to dive into that topic a little bit today as well. But first and foremost, let me know where you're representing Dodgers Nation from. Give me those cities down below where you're working today. Also, since we have a game coming up, call your shot. Who is leaving the yard for your Los Angeles Dodgers today? You got a doubleheader. Let's play 2 in New York. Yesterday's game was rained out. I'm going to start with Tonio. Tony Taters, always looking for your comments. Tony, who's leaving the yard? Who's hitting a bomb for the Dodgers today to get this offense back on track?
I'm going to say my prediction. I'm going to say Jason Hayward.
Jason Hayward.
Yeah, show some love to Jay Hay. Why not?
Jay Hay, that's a deep cut. So you got Jay Hay there batting in the 7th spot today. Okay, how about you, Mr. Noel Sanchez, Mr. recently graduated? Congratulations, Mr. Noel Sanchez. Who's leaving the yard? You got Tyler Glass now on the mound, the Dodgers ace to be the Dodgers star. But who is leaving the yard today?
So Ohtani's only going to be playing 1 out of the 2 games. I think he's going to give us a bang before he rests up that hamstring in the second game. I got Shohei going deep today.
You got Shohei going deep, and I would love to see that, especially because he's in New York, the bright lights. Like you said, he's not going to be playing in the second game. Bill Plunkett of the OC Register, he tweeted out, Dave Roberts said Shohei Ohtani will only play the first game of the doubleheader. They're being mindful of hamstring, doesn't want him to heat up for the game, cool down, then heat up again. So I like it. Gets his bomb in game 1. I can't pick that because you already took it. So I can't say Shohei Ohtani. You know what? Let's go Andy Pages. Let's go. That's kind of heaty, right? Andy Pages. What do you think about my pick, Tony Taters?
Oh, I see it. He's been slumping. I could see both J-Hay and Andy Pages actually hitting home runs today.
Back-to-back, Jacks?
Are they back-to-back in the lineup?
They're back-to-back, baby.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to change my pick. Back-to-back, Pages, Hayward.
Okay, yeah. Hayward batting 8th, Pages batting 9th. But let me know down below in the comment section. We got hello from Australia. What's up, Snow? We got Dan the Man. Gonna wait for Max Muncy to come back from the IL. The Dodgers bats will get hot with Max Muncy. We'll talk about that. That is a fire take. By the way, you know how this show goes. Anytime you're dropping a comment, Tony Taters is looking at your comments. He's going to feature them on the screen. Anytime you got a question, we'll feature that for later in the show. But if you drop a fire take, you're going to see one of these. A comment of the show, you're going to see one of these. Anything a little sus, a little bruh, a roast, finish him, and a Dodger dog. You're gonna see one of these. Dodger dog of the game. But first, this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for the NBA and NHL playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on the game of blackjack, or you can play a game of poker, or just unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Don't forget to use code BLEAV, Believe, for your chance to get a discount right there for 50% off. Welcome and your bonus offer there on your first deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here. So, got some comments. D-Mac, would you rather see a trade for a shortstop or a bullpen arm? This is from Jonathan. I mean, that's easy for me. I mean, the bullpen, even without key pieces out, has done enough this season to give this team a chance to win. Also, when you look at a bullpen guy, look what they got with Chris Martin a couple years ago. Look what they found Evan Phillips a couple years ago. Look what they found last year in Ryan Brazier. You can get bullpen guys that can come in and play a big role and be lights out on a one-year level. They are volatile, right? They're the bullpen. They're like the Baja men, right? They're the who let the dogs out guys. They are one-hit wonders, right? Where a shortstop, that's a long-term solution, right? Right now, the Dodgers do not have a long-term solution at the shortstop spot. So if an opportunity presents itself to trade for someone like a Bo Bichette, like a Willy Adames, that you could bring into your organization, Bo Bichette has another year of team control after this season. Willy Adames is set to enter free agency, but you bring in guys into your organization, then you can look to extend them long term. We saw what they did with Mookie Betts, right? So for me, it's an easy answer. You need to solidify that shortstop spot, and if an opportunity presents itself to do just that, that is where I would sign up. But we need to go get Bo. That's from Lamont Wilson. Look, you guys know Noel, I always have my trades. They're like my babies. You know what I mean? Bo Bichette has been like my baby trade, right? For like months now. And I'm trying to LeVar Ball this, trying to manifest this. I've seen on the X, I've seen on the Instagram, there's more people talking about Bo Bichette, and it makes me happy that more people are starting to catch on to this. How about you, Tony Taters? Are you in on Bo Bichette? What's your in meter? On 1 to 10 Dodger dogs. How many Dodger dogs are you all in on Bo Bichette?
I'm probably like a three Dodger
You're a 3.
dogs. Yeah, I mean, Gavin Lux. I mean, who would send him? Who would they send over? Gavin Lux, right? What do you think?
It depends. It really does depend. I think that if you did trade for a shortstop, you would move Mookie back to second. And then in that sense, you really wouldn't have a spot for Gavin Lux. So maybe he would be a part of that deal. Depends on what his value would be to other teams. Would teams look at him as a headliner for that deal? Let's not forget, Gavin Lux at one point was just the top prospect for the Dodgers. He was a top prospect in all of baseball, but I think his value isn't the same. You have to include other top prospects. But so you're still all on Gavin Lux.
I mean, yeah, wasn't there like a stat the other day? He's like the best second baseman in baseball right now, defensively, or no?
He is. I mean, he's defensively, he's been excellent at the Keystone, right? At the Keystone, he's been great there. Defensively, he's made the throws, but the premium position is the shortstop position.
That's
it's
right.
the throw. It's the amount of times that the ball's hit to you and the ground you have to cover. If he could make the throws and he could provide at least average to plus average offense, you'd feel good about that. And look, it's still early on. I think he's coming back from the knee injury, but hey, this organization has kind of shown us they kind of want a big time star at that shortstop spot. You had Corey Seager, and when you thought he was going to walk, you went and you traded for a Trade Turner. You're interested in a Francisco Lindor. So I still firmly believe that this team wants a premier shortstop. We got Alex PPG. Pages can't hit a high fastball, and now the league knows it. He's basically James Outman with weaker defense in center field. So that's a fire take. That's heaty over there. I'll give you that. And look, I said it last week. This was something that Andy Pages needed to go through. And if you ask anyone that has been a scout or a coach or someone that's coached him on any level, he does this at times. He's a streaky player. And unfortunately, like you mentioned, he has struggled against the fastball. This year, he's hitting 232 off the heater, slugging 415. And the real adjustment for him is just finding a way to get that timing back and hit fastballs in the zone, quite frankly, because he's missing fastballs in the zone, and that is concerning. Andy Pages is definitely someone who, after a fantastic start, has cooled off quite a bit. If you look at Pages, his last 19 games, Andy's hitting 211 with an on-base of 250 and a 72 weighted runs created plus, a 35.5% strikeout rate. So he's striking out too much. The walk rate sitting at 5.3%. But I still want to see what we have. If that means him struggling for another couple of weeks, then fine. At least I don't have any regret. And then I know maybe he's not going to be ready to contribute on the level that we expected him to when he came up and he had that fantastic start. And that would point me to the direction of making a trade, right? The early part of the season is about assessing the internal options because teams aren't making trades right now, right? Teams aren't going out there that think they might still have a chance, whether it be in the wild card or in the division. They're not going to do that at this part of the season. So if you're the Dodgers, this is the perfect time to give guys like Andy Pages and Miguel Vargas and James Outman and Gavin Lux. It's the perfect time to give those guys the opportunities to see if they can solidify those roles. If not, guess what? We got the prospect capital to do a deal, right? We are Amazon. What do you want? We got everything. You want a pitcher, you want a position player, you want a reliever. The Dodgers have the prospect capital. You want a catcher, they have the prospect capital to go out there and get a deal done. I expect them to do so if they don't believe that the current nucleus is enough to win the World Series. But we got Spectre Edits. Spectre Edits. I don't know why I got all exotic with that. Seeing how the Blue Jays have performed, Bo Bichette might just be what the Dodgers need. Move Betts to second and trade Lux, Outman, and Vargas to Toronto. Then get Mason Miller, A's for rushing and neck. This guy's got it all figured out. This guy's got it all figured out. I'm a Iraqi right there. But yeah, let's dive into our first topic. The leadoff today is Angel Hernandez. Cue the hallelujah music, right? Angel Hernandez has announced his retirement. And for someone who has been ridiculed his entire career for making bad call after making bad call, missed calls, just calling strikes off the plate. I mean, he's been making bad calls his entire life. And for the first time, Angel Hernandez has made the right call. Angel Hernandez has announced his retirement, and he will no longer be an umpire in Major League Baseball. And this comes on the heels of a couple weeks of negotiating between Major League Baseball and Angel Hernandez, where they've been negotiating this early retirement package. And they did this because he was a bad umpire. He has been grading out as one of the worst umpires in baseball for quite some time. And yes, Joe West, he's probably saying, okay, not so fast, my friend. I take that title. But no, it's Angel Hernandez. You have the GOAT, and then you have the WOAT. Angel Hernandez is the WOT, the worst of all time. And the game is going to be better with him not umpiring games. Because guess what? I don't know about you, but when I go to see the Dodgers, when I go pay hard-earned money to see Major League Baseball, I go to see the players. I go to see elite pitching, and I pay to see Shohei Ohtani hit bombs. I don't pay to watch Angel Hernandez umpire games, and for him, it's been the ump show for a long time. He likes to get the attention. He likes to have all of the attention pointed towards him, whether it be good or bad. And just a little rewind on Angel Hernandez, okay? This is someone who has sued Major League Baseball not once, but twice. 2 times he sued Major League Baseball because he was complaining that he did not get to ump the World Series. He sued in 2017, and he alleged that he was discriminated against because he hadn't been assigned a World Series since 2005, and he'd been passed over as the crew chief multiple times. He served as an interim crew chief from 2011 to 2016, and USA Today, they reported from an anonymous source that Hernandez reached a settlement to leave Major League Baseball, and USA Today reported that the side spent the last 2 weeks negotiating a financial settlement before coming to an agreement this past weekend. So imagine that. Imagine that one, it's public record that you're bad at your job. Because when Angel Hernandez went to the courts and tried to sue Major League Baseball to the court said, look, we have proof this guy's awful. We have proof this guy's bad at his job and is not qualified to be umpiring the World Series. So they did that, and then they negotiated an early retirement. That must be pretty nice that you're so bad that Major League Baseball is just willing to say, you know what do you need? What do you need? Some early retirement, whatever it takes. There is no more Angel Hernandez. And look, we're going to have robo-umps at some point, but when we get there, we're never going to forget the Angel Hernandezes of the world. I mean, who could forget his calls against the Yankees with CC Sabathia and CC Sabathia calling him out after all those plays were overturned? How about the calls off the plate where Schwarber going at it with him? You had so many instances where you could just directly point to a missed call, and then you get that same Angel Hernandez face, that same Angel Hernandez look where he says, look, I don't care, right? I don't care. But this guy was one of the worst referees in the history of sports. Maybe him and Tim Donaghy are going to hang out as far as the worst in sports. But I think what he should do, if I was Angel Hernandez, is you capitalize on this retirement tour and you get a endorsement deal with Lens Crafters or LASIK eye surgery or some type of optometrist out there, because this guy clearly did not have the vision to be an adequate and competent Major League umpire. And look, for me, no one's going to be great at their job every single day, every single time. But I think it was his insistence that he hadn't made the right call. It was that he didn't ever want to apologize for just making bad calls again and again and again. And like I said, it's going to be really interesting, the fact that the most polarizing umpire is now gone. But we got He Is Blind. That's from Martin. We got LOL. Do you think Friedman will keep his foot on the gas and go big at the deadline? You know the Dodgers are playing terrible and Dave Roberts is stroking dude's hair on the mound. That's from Hepatitis. See you later. That's a finish him. Angel Hernandez is the #1 investor in robo-umps. He ain't sick. Hey, that was a theory that we've been talking about, right? I mean, maybe he's the guy who owns the company for robo-umps, but he needs a partner with the voicemail company. He is very good with missed calls. That's a fire take. That is a fire take right there. We got get a rocker and watch baseball and criticize umpires. We got W. Bazile. Angel was so bad they turned him down to be a seeing eye dog. Okay, you guys just roasting. You guys are just roasting him. I love it. We got the mayor needs to mark this day No Angel Day. That's from Wiz Popper. It felt a little like Christmas, right? Mood swing won't be missed. Bring on the AI assistants for the umpires. That's from Mood Swing. Mitchell Hopkins. In my umpire training, they said, if the coaches forget your name, that means you did a good job. That's a great point. If you don't talk about umpires and they are almost just invisible, they're in the background, you can't see them, that is when you know they're doing the right job, because you're not discussing it. You're not mentioning it all. And that is a great point. But yeah, I like this. I think Ha-Seong Kim is perfect for this team. He can help that bottom of the order without giving up too much. We'll give up some more of that. We'll talk more of that in a little bit. But yeah, Angel Hernandez proves that just because you work for 3 decades doesn't mean you're good at your job. That's from High Tie. Yeah, look. He can't hurt us anymore. He is retired. But we got our big takeaways. I got my 10 big takeaways, and we're going to go through these pretty quickly. We got a game first pitch in less than an hour, and we're going to dive more into these topics as the week goes along. But we have to start with the number one topic today. We have to begin with this Dodgers offense, because it's been Dodger blues for this offense for weeks now. You're averaging around 3 runs per game. The strikeout rate is high. If you look at the Dodgers offense in the last 16 games, they have averaged 2.83 runs per game, 17 runs in their last 16 games. The Dodgers have lost 5 straight games for the first time since 2019. They lost 2 series to below 500 teams in the Reds and the D-backs. And look, I miss the good old days. I miss the times when we were just upset that they couldn't hit with runners in scoring position, that they couldn't hit with the bases loaded. Now I just want runners on base. Now I just want occasional hits to feel better. And yes, the top of the lineup hasn't been getting it done, but you look at this offense as a whole, just 1 through 9, 16 games. I mean, they're hitting 210. That's 23rd. A 277 on base, that's 28th. The 358 slug, that's 24th. 83 weighted runs created plus, they're 25th. A 23.7% strikeout rate, that's the 8th highest in the sport in that stretch. And a 28.2% hard contact percentage, that's 27th. This offense has struggled mightily. If you've seen the Dodgers bats, please return them to 1000 Vince Scully Avenue ASAP, because the reason why they're not winning games is because you're just not taking advantage of runners in scoring position, 1. 2, you're just not generating very much offense. You're not seeing the pass the baton mentality that makes this team special when their offense is right. I mean, 3.47 runs per game. Even if you go deeper into that stretch, they have a 147 isolated power. That's 21st in the sport. So the power is down. The batting average runners in scoring position is down. And it just makes you wonder, what is this about? Are they tired? I hate to use that excuse, but is it an explanation? Is this team fatigued? When you look around, as why would they be tired, right? Well, 1, 13 games in a row. You have a East Coast stretch here, Cincinnati, then you go to New York, and you look at Mookie Betts. He's still performing. Pretty much Mookie and Teoscar have been the best lately as far as how they're performing at the plate. But Mookie is playing shortstop for the first time on a full-time basis in his career. You have Gavin Lux, who continues to, take some positive steps in the right direction, but hasn't really caught fire yet. He's coming off that injury, playing second base. His second base has been excellent. He's been great at the second base spot. Then you got Kike Hernandez. He's playing third with Max Muncy out. He's not used to playing third every day. You got Andy Pages, who's a rookie that's trying to figure things out. He's starting to show some signs of fatigue. Then you have Freddie Freeman, who is going to be 35, that has just not missed any time. So you look at why they might be fatigued. Yes, there are some reasons why, but still, that's no excuse. That's no excuse. This team should be performing better. The at-bat quality just hasn't been there. And my third big takeaway is this offense is really struggling against fastballs compared to years past. The heater has been a major, major problem for this Dodgers offense. Right now, they're hitting 241 off the fastball. That's 15th in baseball. Last year, that number sat at 254. This year, they're slugging 410 off of the fastball. That's 15th, middle of the pack. In 2023, they had a 488 slugging percentage off the heater. That was 5th in the sport. Now, Mookie's actually having a more successful year against fastballs. He's hitting 371 after hitting 326 last year. Will Smith is doing a little better against fastballs, but believe it or not, this might surprise you to learn, Shohei Ohtani, even though you'll take 336 all day, every day against heaters, last year he hit 380, and Also, the slugging percentage was a little higher as well. Now, the person who is struggling the most against fastballs this year is Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman is seeing the biggest drop-off of any of their key contributors. This season, Fredericks of Hollywood is hitting 263 against heaters. 263. This is Freddie Freeman. This is one of the best hitters ever. The hitter of his generation, at least in the conversation for it. And he has a 263 batting average off fastballs. Last year, he hit 344 off of fastballs. Last season, he slugged 594. 594 was what Freddie slugged off fastballs. Remember, he set the new Dodgers record with 59 doubles. He hit 29 home runs. He had all those extra base hits. This year, that slug is down from 594 to 415. So the slug is down. The batting average is down against fastballs for Freddie Freeman. Then Gavin Lux. Last time we saw him, he was hitting 304 against fastballs. Now that number is down to 229. And you saw against Hunter Green. The Hunter Green start, it was really evident that the fastball was giving them issues. I mean, they were 0 for 11 against that fastball. And that, to me, signals a bigger concern because we know that this team, they can beat up on bad pitching in the regular season. This team's Achilles heel, their kryptonite, is elite pitching, high velocity in the postseason. So this is a trend that you absolutely want to reverse. You want to start having success against upper to mid 90s fastballs now because you are going to be seeing that not just from starting pitching, but from bullpen pieces in the postseason. So it's definitely a concern for me, their performance against the fastball. And just look, overall, look at the Reds' style that we saw over the weekend. I mean, you saw the bottom of their lineup. You saw in the third inning, just putting the ball in play and taking full advantage of just making things happen. You didn't see it with the Dodgers. I mean, there was a stretch. They were 0 for their last 22 with runners in scoring position before Freddie Freeman drove in Ohtani with a double over the weekend. And you just can't go that long. And my next big takeaway about this offense is they've really struggled with runners in scoring position during this stretch. And for the year, they're just not the same team with runners aboard and runners in scoring position as they were last season. Last season, with runners in scoring position, this was one of the best teams in baseball. They had this year they have a 733 OPS. That's 15th in baseball with runners in scoring position. Last year, they had an 819 OPS. That was 4th. So they've gone from 4th in the sport with runners in scoring position last year down to 15. In 2023, they were 14th in strikeout rate. This year, they're 5th. So you're seeing them strike out more. They're not coming through in the clutch as much. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that this lineup is too top heavy. And that's my next big takeaway is the lineup is too Ohtani, Mookie, Freddie, Will Smith reliant. You need some more production from the bottom of your lineup. And if you look at the entire season, the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Dodgers, they're slashing 185, 253, 286. That's last in Major League Baseball in essentially almost every single category. They're last in OPS, last in batting average, last in slugging percentage. So this group project, the 7, 8, 9 hitters, they think they're going to get an A because of what Ohtani's doing and Freddie's doing and Mookie's doing. But we know that they're not contributing. They're not earning that A like they need to. So that's another big issue. The bottom of the lineup is not producing. And in my opinion, yes, you have some potential down there. Andy Pages has shown flashes. He's come down to earth. Gavin Lux has shown some life. But is he going to be the guy that you can count on to hit close to 300 like they had hoped? Not so sure that we've seen enough to just completely go all in on that statement. But I do think that they're going to add a bat. I think it's evident right now. You have to go out there. If you're truly all in on this team, you have to go out there and make a big trade to get another bat. And it doesn't have to be a superstar player like a Juan Soto, but it's a big trade in the sense that it could be big for this offense and just lengthening it and giving them some stability, because we've seen a large enough sample size at this point to say that the production just is not consistent enough, and you're seeing too many droughts, not enough opportunities for Mookie and Shohei, and with Freddie Freeman struggling like he is, this is going to lead to a pretty large stretch of this offense not getting it done. So it's definitely a concern. But Cowboys 5 Ring says the Dodgers look tired and unmotivated. They definitely probably are tired a little bit. We got someone saying Tommy Pham at the very least from hepatitis. See you later. We got tired is no excuse. Other teams do it too. That's from Mr. Marty Mart. Look, if I had to rank these as far as reasons, look, it's always roster construction, guys. Look, we can talk about Dave Roberts and motivating the guys. This isn't football. You don't have these rah-rah speeches that have guys run through smog and folk and, smog and smoke and fog and, they're running through brick walls for their managers. No, baseball is a game of concentration. It's a game of ups and downs and ebbs and flows. And right now, it's been mainly an ebb for the bottom of the lineup for the entire season. We got to ever since those Dodgers City Connect jerseys showed up, the Dodgers hit the skids. Coincidence? That's a bruh. I like that though. I believe in all that kind of stuff. Adam 818, I need a hug from Roberts. It's a fire take. Mario, I think we're the second worst in runners in scoring position. We got Mr. Marty Mart. We too juggle the lineup. Eric Brewer, stop swinging for the fences. That's from Eric Brewer. Yeah, I think there's an approach factor as well. I think that you need certain guys in your lineup that you need the haymakers from, right? You have the top of your lineup. You have your sluggers. You have your 3-hitter. You have your cleanup hitter. You have your 5th and 6th hitter. The 1 through 6, I'm confident in saying, is the best 1 through 6 in baseball, right? But it's 7, 8, and 9 that need to at least give them something to not put too much on the shoulders of the top of the lineup where they can go out there and produce. Like, you need some jabs in there somewhere. It can't be all haymakers. And you're saying the big swing. You don't need big swings from the bottom of your lineup. You need to put the bat on the ball. You need to make the right choice when it comes to situational hitting in certain sequences. And that's the issue. They're just not getting on base. They're not getting on base at all. Slug is the icing on the cake. It's the cherry on top for that part of the order. Just show me you can get on base. And then guys like Pajes, he can do damage occasionally. Same with Hayward. When Outman was up, he could be that guy, but it just hasn't been the case right now. Next big takeaway, though, is the lineup misses Max Muncy. Max Muncy is imperative. He is essential to this offense. I know he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I know he gets overshadowed because of the presence of Ohtani and Betts and Freeman, but it cannot be overstated. Max Muncy is a massive glue guy for this offense. He makes things happen. He's dangerous. He's the guy that, look, the offense is sputtering and this and that. Hey, Mookie's on, Ohtani's on. I'll get you a 2-run home run. I'll get you a 3-run shot. Then you're feeling better about this team's chances of winning because they're a very boomer bust home run reliant team as well. And update on Max Muncy is he is still sidelined dealing with that oblique strain. And he has really shown some signs. I was at Dodger Stadium before they left and he was playing catch. He was taking infield at third. It didn't feel like this was going to be an extended stay with him out, but unfortunately, Dave Roberts said, this is from Bill Plunkett, he said, Dave Roberts backed off a little bit on Max Muncy being ready to start a rehab soon and return, quote, sometime next week. Said Muncy is still feeling the oblique strain and will proceed cautiously, not putting a date on anything yet. So if they're proceeding cautiously and he's not making the progress that they hope for, it's definitely a sign that we could be out without Max Muncy for a couple of weeks now. And they need him back because if you look at this Dodgers team at third base in 10 games with Max Muncy out, you've had 30 plate appearances combined with Kike Hernandez, Miguel Rojas. You had 1 plate appearance with Chris Taylor. Those 3 that have filled in for Max Muncy have gone a combined 6 for 33 with a home run and a walk. They're slashing 182, 206, 273 with just 1 RBI. So without Max Muncy and this next man up mentality, that next man up has not gotten the job done or anywhere near the job as far as what Max Muncy has produced. So they miss Max Muncy in a big way. So that's how you fix this lineup. You get Max Muncy healthy. You get Shohei and Mookie and Freddie, the MV3, performing like we're used to seeing them performing. And with Shohei Ohtani dealing with a little hamstring injury, right? Is that a concern. Is that affecting his ability at the plate? Look, you hear hitters talk about being connected to the ground, right? It has to have some effect. There has to be some impact on him at the plate because his numbers have been down, right? I mean, Shohei Ohtani is not looking like Ohtani at the plate right now. And of course, you look at his numbers as a whole, nothing freaks you out. But Shohei, his last home run, Shohei hasn't hit a home run since Friday, May 17th. Since Friday, May 17th against the Reds. So he's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games without a home run for Shohei Ohtani. So I think something's up. I think it's impacting him in some way. We got Mr. Seabat. D-Mac, can we have a candlelight vigil at Dodger Stadium tonight to end the slump? Absolutely. I'll be there. I'll see you there, man. Los Angeles Wordy. Muncy is the GOAT. Rather he gets rested up and be healthy for October than rush him back. We still need him. Yeah, and we've seen oblique injuries keep guys out for months, right? So if it's really impacting him and affecting his swing at all, for sure you want to err on the side of caution, but hey, it goes to show he's a major part of what makes this offense go when he's in there. Alex PPG, Dodgers might win the weak NL West, but this squad will have to get really lucky in the postseason to win. Lots of big holes, lots of zeros in the lineup and in the bullpen. Yeah, right now it's tough to argue with that statement because I just told you that bring my facts to the fight. All the facts tell you the 7, 8, 9 hitters are the worst in baseball collectively, essentially in every single metric. And you can't win a World Series just relying on your 1 through 6, right? Just too many strikeouts. You need a longer lineup. And unfortunately, right now it feels like they have a 1 through 5 with Max Muncy out. So now it's 5 players that you can count on to be contributing. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez is really the only guy that I would say is any form of hot right now. But Ken Walker, what Muncy does better than anyone else is that he's extremely selective and then pounces on something in the zone. Exactly. He punishes mistakes. He takes advantage of pitches that he can drive in the zone. And he's a very smart hitter that just understands how to control the zone and not expand the zone. And he's dangerous, right? I mean, Max Muncy is one of the 30 best hitters in baseball. So let's not undersell that. The infamous El Guapo, D-Mag, every year it's the same thing. Dodgers have had top-heavy players and great teams for years. Where's the common denominator? Roberts. We can't win with Roberts. I wouldn't put this on Dave Roberts. He doesn't go out there and swing the bat. He doesn't put together the approach for these players, so I don't think that's really on him. We got Diane Schroeder, $4.99 Super Chat. Appreciate you, Diane Schroeder, the fairy godmother of the Dodgers Nation Super Chat. Hi, D-Mac from the skies. Going to Cabo. Entire bottom of the lineup has been trash. Wow, tell us how you really feel. Yeah, I'm glad you went to Cabo. Let's just hope the Dodgers don't have an early trip to Cancun, okay? And the way they're playing right now, yeah, you can't take too much away from a regular season losing streak, right? We saw this team in 2017 lose 11 straight. We've seen losing streaks for this team, but I think it's the way in which they're losing and the fact that you just don't feel like the bottom of the lineup is scrappy. They're gritty. They're not putting together quality at-bats. They're not out there fighting. It doesn't feel like they're out there fighting. It feels like they're just out there, the same approach, and if it's not working, okay, we go back to the dugout, and then I'll get back to the plate after that. It just doesn't feel like that right now. We got hepatitis C later on the bright side. We are almost at the 150 at-bats mark for Gavin Lux's assessments. We got, they said they would evaluate him after 150. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And I think that he's probably done enough at this standpoint, especially when you don't have to worry about him defensively, to earn another 50 to 150 plus plate appearances, depending on who's available. But I do think that they probably realize with the Mookie Betts experiment at shortstop that we'll see. We'll see. I still think that the jury's out on that, and I still think they're in the evaluation process. But my next big takeaway is the Giants are going to be a thorn in the Dodgers' side possibly this season. Objects in the rear might be closer than they appear, okay? The Giants, I mean, you look at this team lately, they're winning ball games. They're scrappy. They're hitting in the clutch. Their pitching's coming through in big spots and high leverage moments. The Dodgers right now, they're 33-22. They're still 5 games up on the Giants in the division. Giants are sitting at 28-27, but they're climbing. I mean, the Giants have won 4 straight games. They've won 9 of their past 11. And all this is to say, I think this is absolutely what the Dodgers need. I think this is great for the Dodgers. I think they'll benefit from having the Giants be a legitimate contender in the National League West. Even if they go on to win the division by 5+ games, which I anticipate they ultimately will, if the Giants are climbing and they're within 4, within 3, within 2.5 at any point, you just kind of need that stuff during the regular season when your season is going to be based solely on winning the World Series. Because if all the Dodgers are playing for is the best record, well, that is not going to be enough, right? Because if you don't win the division, then you put yourself in a tough spot where you're a wild card, right? So I think the Giants being kind of the Joker to the Dodgers Batman this season could be a good thing. It could help ignite this team and just keep things in motion during the year. And I think that's something they'll absolutely benefit from. So I'm not against that at all. Next big takeaway is Bobby Miller and Evan Phillips. They are on the right track. They're on the way back. And Bobby Miller, he pitched this weekend on Sunday in Rancho for the Quakes. It was his first day on the mound in 46 days, and he gave up 3 runs in 3 innings. He threw 55 pitches, and you looked at his outing as a whole. I mean, it was a long layoff. He was a little rusty early on. He had a 3-run second inning where he allowed 4 hits and a walk and threw 28 pitches. But one thing I want to point out is that one of those hits, it would have been on an inning-ending pop-up that was right near first base. If that out is made, then he's going to be just fine because 2 of those 3 runs that he scored came after that play. So there's that. And I think for me, when I'm focused on the velocity, he touched 99. He had 12 swings and misses. So I feel really good about what I saw from Bobby Miller in his first rehab start. He could have a couple more. We could see him in the Yankees series, possibly. I think more likely you'll probably see him back when they have a homestand where the Rockies and Rangers come to town, but still very positive stuff. It could be Miller time sooner than later, but we saw what we needed to see in his first start back. And then also Evan Phillips. Evan Phillips, he began his minor league assignment and he was good. I mean, he had 2 strikeouts and 11 pitches, had a perfect scoreless inning. So we're not really concerned about Evan Phillips at all. We know what kind of pitcher he is, but he looks like he's close to being back as well. So definitely a very positive injury update. And then how about Shohei Ohtani? Shohei Ohtani, he threw from, look at that guy doing work in the rain. Haser Lluvia. And he's out there getting his work in. He was throwing from 60 feet. And he's been throwing ever since he got back from Korea. But now he's made it all the way to 60 feet. And he's also touched 80 miles per hour. So he's hit 80 miles per hour in velocity in his last couple of bullpen throwing sessions. So that's very promising. So 1, you make it to 60 feet. 2, you've reached 80 miles per hour in his last few throwing sessions. So that steps in the right direction. And I think for me, the question is, will we see him in 24 or is it for sure 2025? I think at this point, it's pretty certain that it's going to be more 2025. You're not going to throw a guy out there in the World Series and make his first appearance then, right? I mean, if Ohtani's pitching for the Dodgers in the World Series, it's not a good thing. It means things went wrong. But I think it's good to kind of have and dream about in the back of your mind because of how electric of a moment it will be. But still, he's going to be back in 2025. All these takes out there that are suggesting that he sticks to just hitting, I think that's absurd. He's still worth it at $700 million as just a DH or a potential outfielder. But no, you paid him $700 million because he's a unicorn and he's a 2-way player. So we got the Ohtani update, Evan Phillips, Bobby Miller, all progress, all showing signs of, okay, we're checking off boxes. And you love to hear the good news on the injury front because this season they have kind of been bitten by the injury bug and it's impacted them. But last thing I want to get into is Yohan Ramirez. So I want to get everyone's thoughts on Yohan Ramirez. We're going to take a look at this clip when he was struggling. He could not find the zone at all. He was missing out of the zone. He threw first appearance against the Reds, threw 13 pitches, had 1 walk, and he was hitting batters. But here was Dave Roberts coming out there, showing him some love, motivating him to get back on track. And I thought it was a really cool moment.
Oh, this is cool. Right.
I mean, look, the thing about Dave Roberts is, look, you can question Dave Roberts, the manager. I do a lot on this show. I have always told you that, look, you can't expect your manager to bat 1,000, right? Some of these decisions, they're coin flips. But one thing you cannot question is Dave Roberts, the person. Dave Roberts, the man. Find me one player that has played for Dave Roberts that doesn't say that they love playing for him. Because I've talked to these players, and it is unanimous praise for the type of confidence that he gives you. And this pep talk on the mound, Yohan Ramirez needed that. I don't think if Yohan Ramirez gets that, he finds the zone or he gets that fly out in the very next pitch. So you got to give Dave Roberts a lot of credit, because I think we saw on the mound something that we just don't really see that happens behind the scenes. I think you see moments like that with Dave Roberts, but it's in his office. It's in the clubhouse when the media is not around. And I think the thing about Dave Roberts is you can be mired in the worst slump of your career, and he's still going to expect you to go up there and have good results. And there's something to be said about that, especially when you consider the fact that these guys are a group of established stars for the most part, and he lets the stars be stars, and the young players that need a little more direction, a little more motivation, a little more coaching, you're going to see that as well. So I like this comment that said, this is from John saying, Dave Roberts has to give one of these hugs to the 7, 8, 9 hitters before each game. Yeah, that's a fire take. That's my comment of the show, actually. Because, look, it's so true. I mean, just show some love to the entire part of the order. Maybe they have more success. D-Mac's #1 fan. I give my hypothetical firstborn for the boys to get back on track. We got D-Mac's #1 fan sounding like Noah Syndergaard. Maybe that's his burner. Alex PPG. Doc is a great manager. He's the 3rd best manager in Dodgers history. The current struggles are a personal problem, which is a front office problem. Yeah, look, he can only play with the hand that he's dealt, right? And look, I'm just telling you from being in that clubhouse, from covering this team from up close, Dave Roberts' job primarily is to be the culture guy, uphold this culture, stay even keel through the course of a 162-game season. Don't get too high, don't get too low, and get all of these players to buy in. And that's what he's best at, is getting these players to buy in. And I've always said, Dave has to win 2 to win 1 with some of the Dodgers fans. And that's okay. I'm fine with that, right? If that's how you want to feel about Dave Roberts, I'm not fighting you on that. But just know that we got D-Mac, are you soft? Nah, it's from Boo Swing. D-Mac is soft from JR. It's not that. These are all these guys to get to this level. There's no such thing as soft. Okay, to get to this level, you are doing things that all these naysayers on X, all these naysayers, like they could never do this, right? Okay, these are guys that have made it to the very top level of their profession. Yeah, some are stars. Yeah, some are 26 on the roster, but statistically, there's only been over 20,000 players that have played Major League Baseball. Only around 20,000. Think about how long this sport has been around, right? Over 100 years. And for the amount of players that have actually played in this sport, that would fill up Crypto.com arena, right? Just about 20,000. That's it, okay? So none of these players are soft. All these players have either made it to the minor league system, they've made it through being an elite high school player. They've all had varying degrees of incredible amounts of success at this level. Dave Roberts is a World Series champion. Dave Roberts is someone who's defied the odds. He went undrafted to be a big leaguer. So if you think Dave Roberts is soft, go back and look at his career. Because if that's what's soft, then to accomplish the things that he's had, to be a World Series winning player, a player that wasn't drafted, went to UCLA, found his way in the big leagues, and put together a career at the big league level when all the odds were stacked against him, hey, if that's soft, I don't know what being tough is. So, yeah, I don't think that it's a level of being soft. I mean, here's the thing about Dave Roberts, too, is this team is always going to say, there's not fire in the dugout. The team is not going crazy because they're not dancing around the dugout. No, when you're not hitting, you're not going to be celebrating, right? And look, the truth of the matter is with Dave is that if he wins a World Series in a 162 game season this year or in the next couple seasons, and he goes on a run with this team, Dave Roberts is going to end up in the Hall of Fame. Dave Roberts is going to end up in Cooperstown. So are you trying to tell me that you wouldn't want a Hall of Fame manager? Because that is what Dave Roberts' winning percentage, best as any manager to start his career. And I know he has the keys to a Bentley, but you have to know how to drive it, right? So yeah, I mean, he's not above criticism at all, but I do think that this team with the Dave Roberts, they can win a World Series. So he's not the perfect manager, but I think he's the right manager for this current group. But still, I don't think that you can move off of Dave Roberts. And I think that if you are saying that, it just proves that you don't truly know the inner workings of this whole entire organization, in that he's not responsible for the roster. He's not responsible for a lot of the matchups. He's not responsible for a lot of the lineups. It's a collaborative decision, but hey, you're free to fan however you guys want to fan. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. I actually got a $4.99 super chat. Dodgers committed $1 billion on this offseason to win now. They will continue that into the trade deadline. Time to trade for Bo Bichette and JT. JT has struggled recently. It got to a really nice start, but I don't think that's going to happen unless, who knows? I mean, if something serious is wrong with Max Muncy, maybe they consider doing that, but I highly doubt he's pretty much a DH at this point. What's up, D-Mac? Dodgers slump will be ending like Angel Hernandez's career. That's from Elias Elizondo. It's a fire take right there. Mr. Seabat, D-Mac, you need to pay respect to the UCLA great Bill Walton. RIP to the big fella. Hey, love me some Bill Walton. I met him a couple times, and he's a great guy. Like I said on X the other day, my favorite Bill Walton quote was, California, if the Pilgrims first made it here, the East Coast would still be wilderness. Big California guy, San Diego legend, Helix High School. It's pretty crazy though. If you look at his statistics in the NBA, they match up with Roy Hibbert's, which I find interesting, but hey, he's a multi-time champion, MVP, and a Sixth Man of the Year award winner, and arguably the best college basketball player of all time. We know who's number one though. It's Lou Alcindor. So UCLA is the two best college basketball players in history. No debate there. But that's going to do it here, guys. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the game. I'm sure it's going to be a very productive day at work. You had Dodgers Dugout Live and 2 doubleheaders, so good luck getting work done today. But that's going to do it. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Diane says, can we borrow some of the Phillies bats? Hey, we'll see. It's about getting hot at the right time, guys. This team still has a lot of talent. This is still a team that's going to go on a run. You're just a couple games back, and the Phillies can go on a slump. Dodgers can get hot, and then just like that, the Dodgers will have the best record in baseball. But I'm telling you, it's a good thing to slump right now, because then this team is going to be forced to make some moves, and you're going to have the roster you want when it matters most. But that is going to do it. You got Super Chat, Super Producer, Mr. Antonio holding it down. Tony Taters, always rocking with us with your comments. So special shout out to him. And remember, guys, subscribe to the channel so you can win that Ohtani Dodgers giveaway, and go check out Foco for that Ohtani bobblehead. But that's going to do it, guys. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue.